Alright folks, hello and welcome back to Downstage Gaming. I'm your host Josh, and this is part 21 of our B-Sides Let's Play of The Letter. I'm very happy, I've got a new microphone, I think it sounded pretty good. Hopefully it continues to sound good as we make our way through this episode. When we last left off, we had finished things off with Ash, and had a bit of a different ending than last time. We sort of turned Rebecca's affections down, but Rebecca did confess, which was probably good for everyone. And then as we made our way to the climax, we chose to disarm Luke, which seems to have ended up with Ashton being killed by Takako. And in this case, Takako has possessed Hannah, as we kind of already knew. But so Hannah and Takako are seemingly fully one this time around. But we've moved into Luke's chapter for our B-Sides playthrough. Let's see how this goes, see how things are different. Another long and exhausting day at work, and I still have much to do. Sometimes I wonder why I still bother. I can surely afford to retire, leave the businesses to trusted colleagues. Even if they make enough to only break even, I have enough money to last us a lifetime of 3. I could send 7 children to college if I had any, not that I plan to. But the problem is obvious, isn't it? I don't trust any of the lot. It has to be me because they might get it wrong. I don't want to retire and suddenly wake up one day only to find that everything has gone down the shitter.
Christ, I'm knackered. Who do I have to kill to have fewer problems around here?
I've already killed so many. There's very few people left to kill. Not really allowed to complain. I chose this path. But that doesn't stop me from doing so as I throw my shoes off and let them land wherever they please. Petty, maybe, but there's a certain joy that comes with stepping on the carpeted staircase with nothing but my socks on. There's just no better joy in the world. I'll accept no distractions. I can call up Shrokin for a sandwich, but that's probably it. I've got a suitcase filled with contracts to check over and sign before I can retire for the night. I'm also waiting for a call from Suarez for any new updates regarding the IT leaks, a real cause for concern. It's the reason there have been investigations on me. Had it been a new thing, I would let it run its course. But it's been going on far too long, near 3 years, for me to just take on a passive role in the affair. I've only kept my head this far because I've managed to mitigate most of the damage with several favors. And some grand puppeteer to ensure the high-profile law enforcement and government officials keep me out of trouble. But who knows how long it can stay that way. Powers are shifting, and the current can be unpredictable. This whole exit business is already shaking things up and upsetting the balance. Wait, is he talking about Brexit? Is that what this is? It's only with great care that I stay where I am, but the smallest of efforts can unravel all that I have done. It certainly won't help if I'm being accused of things, whether I'm guilty of them or not, because some computer chump thinks he can play a game with me. Some nerd. And well, shit, it'll be a miracle if I get to sleep tonight. Though that is hardly surprising news. But before I can take a step into the study, a voice from the bedroom calls out to me.
Luke, darling, you're finally home.
I have a feeling this is gonna go bad.
Why don't you be a dear and come in here?
And I hesitate for a moment. I do have work to be done, but I suppose greeting my wife as I get home is only proper. It's the 1950s thing to do, certainly. I've already been gone for most of the week unless I needed to be here for the work on the house. So, with a sigh, I head towards the bedroom. Oh, Jesus Christ. The feelings that came to me as I enter the room are definitely mixed. For one, I am somewhat floored by the sight that greets me. Then there is confusion. Exasperation is strangely there as well. And, as to be expected, there is desire. She is a divine goddess, or rather, she is a horrible temptress. What man wouldn't be attracted by that? I guess they could be a sausage jockey. What does that mean? But that is beside the point, and is not relevant to the situation I find myself in right now. This is nice and all, but why does she have to go and do this now of all nights? Dear, couldn't you do your sexy thing some other time?
My love, the bed is awfully cold.
Well, now,
without you.
achievement, you don't need to be insulting or judgy. You know, she's allowed to flirt with her husband and wear what she wants to wear. The matter of the fact is, I've never seen Hannah all primped up like this since our first year of marriage. There must be something special to bring on such an act. Perhaps a ghostly possession, who can say? Our wedding anniversary is already passed, so that can't be it. Hannah's birthday is in April, and mine is in August, so it can't be any of those either. So what in bloody blazes brought this on? Are you just horny? What is it? Is Hannah drunk?
Why don't you just, take a rest? I'll be busy all night.
Is that answer too cold? I don't mean it to be. She certainly doesn't look amused. And fuck if it doesn't feel wrong to refuse sex from my wife when I was all too happy to bang Mary Ann into a mattress. Yeah, you got a good point there. Of course I was drunk, but still.
Come on over and stop being a boring old man. Work can wait.
Maybe I can entertain her, just for a while. It's a tempting idea. But no, I'll never get any work done that way. And imagine how horrible it would be to get a call from Suarez in the middle of a shack. That would certainly kill the mood and piss me off more than anything. It'll be even worse if Kylie steals the phone from them, as the little ankle biter is prone to do unless her father is locked in a room. Just thinking about the possibility is weird and turns me off from even trying anything. I thought he was gonna say turns me on.
I'm afraid it can't, Buttercup. But hey, it's Sunday tomorrow.
And you know that Sunday is sex day.
We can go out for dinner right after. Somewhere nice like that Italian restaurant you wanted to try out.
Why don't we skip dinner tomorrow and eat out tonight?
Whoa there, why don't we slow down? Looks like someone is in the mood, but hey, there's a time and place for everything.
I grew up in a house where sex was a constant thing. It's just a thing that the body does, more or less. Sometimes it comes with social implications, supposedly. With paper-thin walls and a mother with that horrid job of hers made me think that way. But I learned later on that it isn't the case for everybody. Suffice to say, this is really odd. For her, at least. I'm quite sure she never grew up in a sexually promiscuous home like I did. She grew up with a well-to-do, normal, and decent family. And in the 7 years we've been married, she's never acted this aggressive about sex. We do it when the mood comes to that, but never like this. And when I'm in the mood and she isn't, that's about the time I go around town to have my back scratched. I've got nothing to be guilty of, I believe, as long as it's just lust and not love. Okay, Luke, I would agree with you if Hannah knew about it and also agreed, which is just clearly not the case. My night with Mint was just that, sex. She was a beautiful woman, I was extremely drunk, and we were both consenting adults, to some degree. Seeing as Hannah had been busy with one of her many parties, I thought I'd take the opportunity to slip out. That's a good way to explain it, I guess. I'm just really confused and trying to come to grips with reality as it's presented to me.
Well, this is the place, but now is not a good time, darling. Like I said, I have plenty of important work to be done.
This is the place where we do the sex, but the time, it's just not the time.
Any other night, this would be great. Excellent, splendid.
Really, just 10 out of 10 wonderful.
But not right now, okay?
I suppose if that's what you want. I can have my prince another time.
A chill runs up my spine as she calls me that again. My prince. Is she going through some midlife crisis? I know she's not the sort to play pretend with that sort of thing. Now that I think about it, this is probably some dream. Perhaps I've been exposed to something. Jesus, I've gone and fucked my own brain over. That could be the only explanation. Or at least the only explanation my mind wants to accept right now. But if it were, I should probably accept her offer, no? But on the off chance it isn't, I shouldn't. Either choice fucks someone over, quite literally at that.
Yes, that's right. Another time. So if you could put your dress back on. It's really chilly right now, isn't it? You don't want to catch a cold if we're going out tomorrow.
Thankfully, she's done as she's told, which puts this strange episode to an abrupt end. Unfortunately, she had to put her dress back on so painfully and seductively slow, I suspect she knows the things she does to me. As much as I'd like to have the engine running, there are things to be done to make sure we can keep on enjoying a glamorous life as we do now.
I'm starting to think you don't find me beautiful anymore.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so she doesn't look insane like she did that first moment of possession at the end of Ash's chapter. But yeah, there's the paleness to everything, and the eyes look different, and obviously the necklace.
Is that what brought this on, then? You are an angel. A goddess, Hana. Of all the flowers in this garden, you are by far the most beautiful and rarest of them all.
Boo.
Every bloke would want to be with you, and every lady would want to be you. I'm sure it goes the other way around, too. I'm lucky to have you, and I don't know how you put up with the likes of me.
Wow, why is this somehow the nicest Luke has ever been to Hannah?
I'm really sorry, darling, but it really isn't a good time.
I don't quite think little Luke is up for some... God! Ugh! For some fun just yet either. Not after the blow he'd been dealt with by a violent ginger harpy. It does hurt me to see her upset because of something I've said or done. It always does. One can't always get his or her way, though. At least society would like you to believe in order to soften the blow of disappointment. I'll have to take their side on that, just this once. Pulling her in for a hug and a peck of the cheek, I'm quick to pull away before I change my mind and make it more than that. I can at least give her those.
Chin up and smile. You'll get wrinkles frowning like that. And beauty sleep helps.
Of course, my prince. I suppose I can do with the sleep.
It honestly, well done in, like, I'm not even quite sure what it is in the face. It's the eyes, definitely. There's, like, bags, but there's just, it's a perfect amount of just slightly unsettling. The smile that lights up her face is enough to make me forget about the oddity that has just transpired. I still don't understand this whole prince thing, though I'll let it slide for now. Seeing her with her golden locks and that silver dress, it almost makes her queenly. With due respect to her majesty, of course. I am a proper Englishman, after all. Despite that, there's just something off.
Hana, before I go, what happened to your necklace? The blue diamond.
The fact that she seems confused feels off.
Whatever do you mean? Oh, that old thing. It's somewhere in the vanity drawer, I think.
And to be so aloof about
What?
it.
But wasn't that from your father?
It was a priceless heirloom, to be exact, handed down from one generation of Evans to the next, whether it be to wife or a daughter of an Evans. I know that Hannah treasures it so, especially after it was given to her with her own mother's passing. Then, what is with that ugly thing dangling around her neck? Looks more like a choking hazard than anything.
It was, of course it was. I just thought a change would be nice.
I don't think I've seen her wear anything else in its place. A change it is, but not an entirely welcome one at that.
I see. I suppose that
Suddenly
makes
my
sense.
desire to bang
Well,
is
not
even
that it
less.
matters, but I like the old necklace better. At the very least, we can have it cleaned and polished while you're not wearing it. Remind me to have that done in the morning.
Whatever you wish, my prince.
Right. You have a good night then, Buttercup.
Okay. With a shake of my head, I don't waste any more time than I've already done. Heavy suitcase in hand, I head straight into the study and dive right into the contracts. There's a whole stack of them too, mostly to do with property management. Nonetheless, careful work needs to be put into them, as with everything else. My attorneys have already checked them over, but I like to be precise. I'm not going to sign if there's even a single line I do not like. It's a long way into the night when a coldness envelops the room. I suspect at first that it's merely just the usual chill, but the heaters have been turned on, and the strange sunny weather that's been gracing us as of late has come to an end. The door is barely open, just by a crack, though I shut it in case that might help. Satisfied, though not as much as I would have liked, the room still feels freezing, I make my way back to the mess of documents waiting for me at the table. Just a few more, and I can get that well-deserved rest, get out of this place, and dive into the warm comforts of my bed. Then maybe, if Hannah's still up for it, well, it's more than enough motivation. Parking my rear back in the chair, I begin my work with the last of the blasted papers, more than ready to be done with everything and turn in for the night. Only for another chill to startle me to a stop. And that's when I feel the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. Eyes boring at the back of my head, a brush of air just at the nape, and when I glance back, reflected in the lone portrait in the room, someone stands behind me, just by the study door I closed moments ago, though I did not hear it open. Perhaps it is Hannah, trying to be sneaky, and in a way, you're kind of right. Or Shrokin, being a bellend of a spook as usual, the classic Shrokin.
Do I really have to ask people to knock before they enter? Seriously now, this is anarchy, and I'll have you know...
I turn, but there's nothing.
Huh. Must have been a trick of the light. It is getting late, and I should really go to bed myself. Just have to finish looking over a few more contracts, and...
Yes, just finished signing these, and I can have some rest. Maybe arrange for a day off in the morning. Sighing, I steel myself for a long night of dry paperwork. Okay, so this is right after the possession. This is the day of the BRC heist. Okay, interesting. Still, the feeling that I'm being watched stays with me all through the night. Weird. Probably not important. And with the sun rising comes another disturbance, both too loud and too sharp for my tastes. And I have very fine tastes. When the piercing rings of a doorbell reach even the study, I'm very much inclined to think the person who built this place lacks any sense of it. Perhaps the only thing good in this is that the ruckus has chased away the needling guilt from last night's commotion, if only temporarily. Still, it's a bloody annoying distraction. I can tell already that it's going to be a long day, and it hasn't even started. Before the racket even lasts another minute, I'm peeling myself off the chair and heading straight for the main door. There will be a murder today if this doesn't let up, and I've already fulfilled my murder quota. We seen this? No, God. How quaint. It seems everything in this blasted universe is intent on getting on my nerves as of late.
Gordon Bennett! Only a Nancy would knock at such an ungodly hour!
Oh, I still love it. Still makes me laugh every time. In the first place, I shouldn't be the one doing this. This is why I hired a valet, for fuck's sake.
Where's that damn butler when I need him?
I'll be honest, if only for today. With the mansion this quiet at this hour of the morning, it's easy to believe those little ghost stories might be real. We definitely see this. Okay, it's one of those again. The only horror here is how odd my own wife has been acting as of late. There's no place for fear when another set of problems already burns that fuel. So I'll wait for another second. When no butler still answers my call, I simply yank the doors open myself, perhaps with more force than needed. And maybe it should be appropriately there, considering the person on the other side and the hour he dared appear on my doorstep. Even someone with half a brain knows not to disturb anyone this early. Brief confusion quickly gives way to anger, and before the bloody photographer can even get a word in, I'm hurling venom at him. It's less than he deserves, really. Hannah will disapprove, scold me for treating the photographer with such disrespect if she hears me right now. She seems fond of him, after all, despite meeting him only once or twice. He's merely doing his job, she'll say. But she's not here, isn't she? And what she doesn't know...
You? How the hell did you get in here? What in seven hells do you want? It's bloody 6 in the morning!
Listen, sir, I know this is not a good time.
Oh, it's not a good time. Did you even check the clock before coming here? I bet you didn't.
How dare you not check the clock? This is still my home. My rules also apply to this place as much as Hannah's do. As simple as that.
Unlike you, the ones living in this house need to sleep.
It just so happens, it's also a person I will never take a liking to. No need for remorse. And why will you never take a liking to, Luke? If you could just sort of expound on that?
Come back when people are actually awake, or I'll call security on you.
He continues shouting, even as I slam the door in his face. Some nonsense about the news lately, though I don't understand most of it. However, with the closed doors muffling the better part of it, and with no ears to listen, his tirade doesn't last long. Eventually, he leaves, and silence once again fills the room, as it should. In hindsight, maybe I should call for psychiatric services. He certainly sounds mental just screaming like that. A suspicious man like him left roaming the immediate grounds? Nothing good can come of it. But if his presence will indeed bring a problem, a sign of bad things to come, I'll probably know soon enough. Worst comes to worst, Shrokin will take care of it if need be. You know, do a little killing, whatever. It's what I'm paying him for. In the meantime, I need rest, even for just a few hours. My lovely wife's still fast asleep when I finally join her in our bed. As odd as she has been acting lately, her company is nice after spending long, grueling hours going through business documents. Then again, it's not like I'd be losing out much if I take a break or two. In fact, all I have to do is say the word, and Vance General Electronics stocks are going to go down. That's the least I can do after Rochelle Vance's outburst during the party. I highly doubt she will be Rochelle Lee for long, not if Harvey has any sense in him. So, with a sigh, I drift off, setting aside my problems, if only for a few hours. Are we never gonna get actual closure on the whole Rochelle thing? That bugs me. Waking up to find my bed empty hours later is a strange sensation. Have you seen this? No. Okay. Not to speak ill of Hannah, but I've always woken up first, even in the early hours of our marriage, mostly because I've always been accustomed to doing so. As a child, I woke up early to escape the house before one of Mother's scheduled day clients came in. Later on, it was to assist with breakfast and to prepare for school, and it just kept with me through the years for one reason or another. If there was no reason to wake up at 6 in the morning, my mind would always find a reason to. To work, to nurse a terrible hangover, to make sure I was the one leaving the bed first, just because, and not the other way around. Checking the time on my phone shows that it's already 8:30, but what can I do about it? Getting up is an entirely different problem on its own. Waking up after getting only a few hours of sleep in has my body stiff and sore and my mind feeling lethargic. A part of me wants to go back and doze off again, an alien feeling to me, but it's already far too late for my tastes. All I can manage is to sit up before there's a knock on the door.
Yes, come in. I'm decent.
I'm
I
fully
don't see why you
clothed.
have to knock.
Even if I was only in my knickers, there's only 2 others inside the house aside from myself. I've arranged with the staff to have the Sunday off, what with it so close to a holiday anyway, so that I can have some peace and privacy. The security outside the house doesn't count, of course. There's no need for Hannah to knock, so I expect to see the butler and ready myself for approach. To see that it is Hannah is odd, but not a cause for concern. Most likely she too found it strange to see me still sleeping and had let me indulge. Yet there's something off. I just can't put my finger on what it is. A different eye color? No, her eyes were always that color. Whatever it is, it can wait. Besides, when there are strange things, it is better to wait them out, as they often become apparent with time. Definitely not important to take action when you're worried about something. Not that I should complain when she greets me with a sunny smile on her face and a tray of food.
Oh, good morning, dear. It looks like I overslept, huh? I haven't had that pleasure in a long while.
You should really indulge in it a bit more, my prince. I hope you do not mind, but I made breakfast for you.
I've been expecting her to tell me that she brought the meal up in order to eat together, not that she made it. For in all our marriage, Hannah has never cooked once, though I can hardly find it in me to question her efforts, unless she's trying to poison me. Perish the thought. But she carries with her a platter of pies, delicious-looking, round pockets of goodness. I'll have no second thoughts in finishing one off the plate with a hum, in fact. It smells divine, and it looks the part as well. The crust from outside looks like it's been baked to a golden and flaky perfection. The egg wash wasn't forgotten either, giving it a nice finish.
You made these? You're not pulling my leg, are you? These look great.
I make only the best for you, my love. Do try it out yourself, yes? I want to see what you make of it. Perhaps I will be able to prepare more meals for you in the future.
Are we gonna, like, take a bite of it and there's, like, eyeballs in it?
Breakfast in bed? You spoil me, darling. Well, I can't say no to that, can I? Bon appetit.
The crust of the pie breaks easily with a bite, and I'm greeted with a taste of nice buttery pastry. But looking back down at the pie, I feel a bit put off. Oh, why? The meat is red and a tad bit soggy, though I can't place what would make it that way. It tastes of turkey more than beef, though an old one at that. There's no real sauce or marinade to excuse this juice. It tastes like turkey that's been kept too long in the fridge after being roasted and carved. I don't like where this is going. Definitely white meat, at the very least, and well done as well. The thing is tough, though, stringy and sinewy, which would say it's more muscle than anything, and...
Ugh, what is...
I sputter, try to spit out whatever it might be. A few fine strands of something that thankfully comes out. Although if I swallowed any, it's far too late, not unless I want to act like a cat trying to cough up a fur ball. It's just unfortunate that the odd sensation of it being stuck in my throat still lingers, even as I down the glass of juice she's brought with the meal.
Buttercup, are you sure the ingredients you used are clean?
Oh, I do apologize. That must be... You know, Chef has been feeding some stray cats lately. There are some roaming around the property. I saw him petting one just the other day during his break. Said he found it in a cellar.
Okay, so is the presumption that we ate cat?
But you have nothing to worry about, my love. I took care of it.
She laughs then, probably because I'm hilarious, but I just have this funny image in my head of Hannah chasing after a cat to shoo it out. We aren't cat people, but I doubt that means she would be cruel to the feline. Certainly she wouldn't bake it into a pie like this is god-dang Sweeney Todd.
Maybe the other pies are clean.
I don't quite have the appetite for breakfast anymore. But thanks. Bloody cats.
Screw you, Lou.
If that is what you wish, all the same, it will give me more time to spend with you. You will spend time with me, yes?
Oh, no. Oh, definitely not. I did tell myself that I would let myself have the day off today. But she doesn't know that. And I can't help but feel that offness again, as her eyes burn through me. There's an eagerness there, a hunger, which makes my skin crawl. An unnatural reaction. I can do little else but nod, because answering otherwise seems the wrong thing to do.
Would it please you to have some tea, then? I can fetch it if you wish.
Pushing myself off the bed with a groan, I roll my eyes and sigh. The crick I feel in my neck is easily taken care of, and I try to flatten my bed head to something a bit tamer. All throughout, Hannah still watches me, expectant and doting.
No need for that. We can have tea in the parlor, if you don't mind. Really now, Hana, there's no need to busy yourself over it.
I shall go ahead and prepare the parlor then.
Just relax.
Just take a chill pill, dear. I barely said 2 words before she's out of the door, and I'm left speaking to air.
Hana, what is up with that woman?
Surely possessed. Though perhaps I should have said no. Perhaps I should have feigned business or claimed a restlessness that would let me out of the house, away from her and her pies. Because as soon as I've stated my intent to laze the day away, the woman would neither let me lift a finger nor step a foot outside. She is animated, oddly so, moving about the parlor and fetching things from me that she deemed necessary. And were necessary, as if she knows what I need or want before I can even voice it out loud. It's almost like she could read my mind. A pillow for my feet and a book to read, though I cannot for the life of me focus on it. It does not bother me too much, as I've read The Picture of Dorian Gray twice over. I knew nothing but shadows, and I thought them to be real. I should be glad for the attention of the doting, really. Instead, an uneasiness settles itself into my stomach.
Why don't you just sit down and relax, dear? We are supposed to be spending time together. I don't think you rushing around like a handmaid is how I pictured it.
Yeah, interesting that she would act like that, like a handmaid, huh?
You are wearing yourself out, and the sun is still high in the sky.
There's a stiff jerk of her head, as if to say no, while she busies herself with making tea and water already lukewarm. My instruction to take leave may be the only one she refuses to follow, even if I express concern for her well-being and point out that there are others assigned to the task she wishes to carry out.
You do not need the others. You have me. I wish to show my usefulness, and I wish that you not ask me to leave.
You are not one of the servants, Hana.
It was a thought that escapes my mouth, and I prepare myself for reprimanding. Because servants, Lucille Mitchell right, these are our employees, and you will treat them with respect at the very least. Yet that didn't come.
Of course. Of course, I'm not a servant. I am your wife.
Right, that's the role I'm playing now. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, alright, yes, wifely thoughts, and go. Scene.
Your princess.
I think we're both a bit too old to be playing princes and princesses. I do not know what brought on such behavior from her. Yet I cannot bring myself to scoff at the idea, not when she looks torn and kind words might bring her some degree of comfort. I will indulge in this delusional talk of monarchy to an extent. Sorry, Queen. One could suppose that Hannah is indeed Luxborn royalty after all.
Princess. Oh, no, Hana. You are my queen.
I don't like this.
And a queen needs to sit next to her king. So please, sit.
I can still feel them, little bugs on my skin crawling and squirming. But I ignore them as Hannah sits down next to me and I put my hand in hers. The touch nearly makes me want to pull away. For now, I feel them burrowing into my skin, digging holes into me, though there is nothing to be seen there. I clasp her hand, though her touch burns both cold and hot. I did not like the thought that Hannah, my sunshine, my darling, is someone I should fear. It's a bit of a paradox, for all that I do and should feel at peace in this quiet moment, dread overtakes every part of me. A small voice in the back of my head screams that there is something wrong, but I cannot bring myself to look further into it. If only I ever paid attention to how Hannah acts normally, I might realize what's going on here. The whole thing doesn't even last.
The tea is ready. I should go. I've forgotten the milk and sugar in the kitchens, if you may excuse me.
Should I? I'm not even exactly sure what the choice here is signifying. Like, obviously, the literal thing of letting Hannah go or calling the butler. But, like, if the thing is that he's concerned... I'm just curious to see where this goes if we call Johans into this. Have I really been so aloof that Hannah has to question where she stands? That she thinks that acting subservient is the only way to have my attention? My affection? This is wrong.
Hana, just... Johans will get the tea things, just...
Sit? Stay? No. Hannah isn't some dog I have to leash and command.
Just be with me, even for a little while. We rarely have time nowadays, don't we? We're always so busy.
She looks conflicted, though the reason eludes me. In the end, she chooses to stay. A summon for milk and sugar to be brought in is sent out. All the while, Hannah remains restless. She doesn't utter a peep as Shrokin brings in things for brunch, as I may or may not have hinted that I've yet to have breakfast. Tea things are set in place, along with sandwiches and all sorts of finger foods. But it's when the other man draws near to her, intent on serving tea, that Hannah's calm starts to wither. Why does she hate him so much? Because that was clear earlier, too, during Hannah's chapter. Is it because he's playing the role of that she wants to play, of, like, servant to him? She's on her feet, hands out to take the teapot from him. The look on her face is one of disgust and annoyance. I've seen that expression before many times, in the mirror, but never on her. It doesn't suit her, much like the way she speaks now.
You are not needed here. You can leave. Now.
Oh, of course, madam. If you may excuse me, sir, I'll...
Shrokin, stay. Just let him do his job, Buttercup. That's what he's here for.
No, he is not supposed to be here. None of them are.
Yeah, I don't understand why she wants everybody gone.
This home is for you and I. Others are not welcome. I want them gone. They do not belong here. They are not like you and I.
And again, a hint that somehow Luke is connected to the past lord of the house here in some way. Something is wrong. She's wrong. Hannah had always been kind where I was not, and I loved her so because of it. You know, she fills the hole in me. The hole that is kindness. Yet now, there is no warmth in her voice, and the way she talks is too cutting and harsh. The way she holds herself is unsure, stiff, and awkward, as if she's filled in shoes too small. This isn't Hannah. The thought itself is an impossibility. It's not like someone can be so easily replaced by an imposter. I would know. I played Among Us. So why is she so wrong?
What's going on, Hannah? What brought about this childish temper tantrum of yours? You know well enough that what you ask is ridiculous.
What has caused her warmth to grow cold?
I don't know what brought this on. I don't know if you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or if Johans or any of the other maids ripped your favorite dress or something. But I am not going to get rid of our staff just because you're acting like a child in a sulk.
And wasn't that something? Often enough, I'm the one who's compared to a little brat, not the other way around. But it didn't amuse me enough to distract me from the situation. Grasping at Hannah's shaky hand before she actually does have a temper tantrum, I have to stop myself from flinching. Her skin is hot to the touch, and if the feeling of bugs on my skin bothered me before, there's nothing to the stinging sensation I feel right now. Having her hand in mine should feel right.
You still do not understand, do you, my love? Not yet, but you will. You will.
Well, nothing unsettling about this. Cloudy eyes focus on me, ardent and filled with desire. It feels as if I'm being stripped until my very soul is bare. But it isn't a searching look, rather one that wishes to claim. That look she gives me is nothing short of unnerving. But watching as her eyes roll into the back of my head is decidedly more terrifying sight. I'd let go and feel as her hand slips through mine before she falls to the ground, not intent on getting dragged down by dead weight. And doesn't that make me feel so horrible? It's an act of reflex more than anything, with the number of dead bodies I've handled in the past. It's never a pleasant affair when a corpse tilts forward and pins you down. That still doesn't make it any better, of course. But what can I do? Catch her? Well, yes, but it's a bit too late for that, isn't it? Inexplicably, the stinging sensation on my skin fades away. Not that what I'm feeling right now is any better. The whole thing brings unbidden images of Mother to mind. It makes me feel sick. I want to cry and beg my audience be damned, but my scream dies out before it can reach my lips, a half-choked sob. Acting like a blubbering babe won't help. I've seen this happen before, but not to her.
Mom, please wake up. Please. I'll be a good boy. Just don't leave me.
Really, I should be more concerned. Yet here I am, a deathly calm befalling me. I waste no time kneeling by her side, tapping a hand to her cheek in a flimsy attempt to wake her. Her skin is too pale, and Shrokin does his best to find what is wrong with Hannah. Even her golden hair has lost its sheen. Her pulse is quick and her breathing shallow. I half expect her to be as cold as ice with how she looks, yet she still burns like a furnace. At the very least, that means she isn't dead. Yet.
Well, should we call for an ambulance?
If she doesn't wake up soon, yes. But it's best not to move her just yet, and...
Luke, what's going on? What happened?
I have no plans of apologizing as I shove the butler aside to check on Hannah. Though she still lay on the ground, all that matters is that she's awake, that she isn't dead. Just the thought of it. Fuck. I don't know what I've done things if I don't know what I would have done if things were to the contrary.
Hey there, Sunshine. How are you feeling? Do you think you're up to standing?
I don't feel too good, no. But I think I can stand.
Is this like actual Hannah kind of fighting back? She reaches out for my hand, and I'm quick to take it. Her cold and clammy skin is a cause for concern, but I force a reassuring smile on my face. At least, I hope it's reassuring. That isn't exactly an emotion I'm used to plastering on my face. I rarely have need or want to reassure anyone else. The most I can hope for is that I don't make her worry.
Come on then, let's get you up. Careful, careful. We don't want you to fall or break something.
Like a leg, or your head. Though getting her up to her feet is easier said than done, she claims that she can manage to stand, but she's completely dead weight as I lift her up. Weak. Too weak. I can feel the trembling of her body, as if just existing has exhausted her. Soon enough, Stroken aids me, and we manage to let Hannah onto a chair without further incident. I have half the mind to wrench free and run. This is all too familiar, and I want no part of this, but do I even have the choice? At the moment, I suppose, yes. I'm not running away. That's preposterous. I just need to go to Mare.
Shrouken, take her up to our room and take care of her, all right? Schedule an immediate appointment to a physician. Get it done. As soon as possible. I just need to...
Breathe. I need to breathe. Whew. Alright, well, this is... this is certainly different. Where are we in the day here? Okay. So just a little bit before Rebecca's finished at the library and Ash is about to meet up with his two friends. Okay. Alright, well, that's going to have to do it for this time. We'll continue on with Luke and his crazy possessed wife next time. Until then, this has been Downstage Gaming. I've been your host, Josh, and I will catch you all next time.